74 all out. India have won the first T20I by 101 runs and an absolute smoke show by the returning superstar Hardik Pandya. Joining me today for the show is Shomik Chakrabarti and Bharat Ramraj. Shomik, starting with you, were you expecting this sort of performance by Hardik in the very first match that he comes back to after a layoff of almost 2 months? What's really going on there? Because it was an absolute, Hardik Pandya rolled them over.
Yes, it shows two things, Gargi. One is that this guy is an incredibly talented cricketer, number one, and he is a complete natural. Because what happens when you are out of cricket for a couple of months, more than 2 months, you whoever you are, you become a bit rusty. It's never easy coming back to the international fold and start performing straight away, but this guy is a complete natural. And you could see the difference in quality. You could see the difference in quality. For example, Einbrick Nokia, he was bowling his 150 kilometers thunderbolt, and when Tilak Verma was playing, for example, Tilak Verma, he was always late on his shot. I mean, he was always hurrying into his stroke. He didn't have any time to play that shot. And Hardik came and he had such huge amount of time even against 150 kilometers delivery. That cut shot was a brilliant. So this he is, he is India's X factor, and in this format, and for India, if India to win the T20 World Cup, he should be wrapped in a cotton wool. That's the thing. India need Hardik Pandya to be fit to win T20 World Cup.
You really can't, just when you think, just when you start forgetting, or rather when you start moving on, Hardik Pandya reminds you that there is truly no replacement for him. Bharat, looking back on his performance tonight, especially the last time we saw him was the Asia Cup last group stage versus Sri Lanka, and then he was out of action. He was obviously practicing, but then coming back and delivering like this, especially when India needs him, when the top order has failed, every single time you need a clutch performance from Hardik Pandya, he's there to put his hand up.
Yeah, first of all, yes, experience. He has done it before. When you have done it before so many times.
Bharat, there seems to be a problem with your speaker. I can only hear wind.
Now, can you
Uh,
hear?
no, it's the same. Why don't you try to rejoin? Devashish also joins us from outside of the stadium. Devashish, tell us about the experience of watching that game. It didn't last very long, but at the same time, Hardik Pandya is the superstar tonight. Okay, I think issues with Devashish's internet as well, and that leaves the two of us, Shomik, once again. But freaking awesome here is asking, this is South Africa's lowest total in T20Is. Shomik sir, I know you are a big fan of Gill, but how can one justify his place in T20Is? How is he better than Jaiswal and Sanju as an opener? You're on mute, Shomik.
Sorry, a big fan of Shubman Gill, the Test batsman. There is a difference. I am a big fan. In T20 cricket, I have my concerns about Shubman Gill. Although, I will not try to jump the gun because this is only the first game, and only after 3 matches I will try to make an assessment. That said, I am a bit skeptical about Shubman Gill's ability to go aerial. His game is playing along the ground, picking the gaps to perfection. That is his game. That way he has learned his cricket since he has been a kid. So now, and even at the IPL, he plays that way. Seldom does he go aerial, but here he will have to go aerial because in T20 cricket, in T20 internationals, IPL and T20 internationals are different. So in pursuit of bringing on that extra into his batting. Shubman Gill may be struggling a bit, although I am not judging as yet because I want to give him another couple of games. Yes, that said, this is completely my personal opinion. This is completely my personal opinion, and I feel it will not happen. It will not happen. But I feel Abhishek Sharma and Yashasvi Jaiswal are India's best T20I combination. Given that Abhishek Sharma is one of the first names on the team sheet, and the way Yashasvi plays, the way, and he has that ability to go aerial. But now the selection committee, uh, I mean, they have chosen Shubman Gill as the vice captain, and he is the. I mean, there is an effort there is an effort to project him as the face of Indian cricket because Indian cricket at this moment in time, bereft of superstars beyond Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. And Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma no longer play the T20 format. Maybe after the 2027 World Cup, they will call time on their illustrious career. So who next? You need you need superstars. Whatever you might say, it's a team game. Everything, all, even the Bradman, even the Australia's Invincibles in 1948, the all-conquering team that had Don Bradman. That team had Ray Lindwall, Kit Miller, Lindsay Hassett, Neil Harvey, superstars. But that team had Don Bradman. So even in a team sport, it is at the end of the day, Chicago Bulls had Michael Jordan. And your favorite sport, Gagi, Formula One. At the end of the day, it's a team sport, and very few sport has is as team effort as Formula One. Right from the pit stop, right from the back room, everything, and everything is controlled by the back room. Your director is controlling, and even then, you had a Michael Schumacher. He trumped everything. He superseded everything. That is star. That is stardom. That is stardust. And without stardust, no sport can survive. That is the bottom line. So Shubman Gill, once again, I will not jump the gun, but I still am a bit skeptical about his ability to go aerial.
Right. Those are very fair points. Very fair points. Devashish, I hope you can hear me now. Let me know.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
I
Devashish,
could
talk
hear
about
you.
that match. That clutch performance by Hardik Pandya, of course. Jasprit Bumrah as clinical as ever. Arshdeep Singh also pitching in, and also Varun Chakravarti. So
Pardon?
this bowling lineup absolutely rolled over South Africa's batting lineup. I think still an issue.
Let me
Internet still
just
an issue.
let me just go somewhere else.
Yeah, we'll just wait for him to find a better place. But Bharat, I hope you heard my question. You can take that one and tell me, looking back on the match, absolute domination from Team India.
First of all, I hope you are hearing me, listening to what I'm saying, because I don't know why suddenly it happened with my speaker because this laptop has been playing fine. But yes, Hardik Pandya, it was a clutch performance from him. See, he has the wisdom of experience. He's done it before. When you have done it before so many times, then you have that muscle memory. Yes, I can do this again. I think that is where it really helps when it comes to Hardik Pandya. See, Sabat, even if he's injured, even if he's out for a couple of months, he can come back into the T20 setup or T20 setup and do well because he has that ability. And as I noted, he has the confidence and he also has the experience because what you saw today was he was trying to target straighter boundaries because he somewhere understood that pitch was a little bit up and down. When the pitch is a little bit up and down, if you try to play across the line like the South African batters tried, then you would fail. So Hardik Pandya was trying to play a little more straighter. Obviously, has the power to hit it down the ground. And when South African pace bowlers try to bowl the hard length, try to hit the deck hard, use the pace and ramped it over third man. So I think that is where Hardik Pandya did really well. and is such a integral part of the lineup in the sense that he balances the side in the sense that he can hit the deck hard. He has the variations, and when you bring all that into the table, he becomes very much a wild card of the Indian lineup.
All right. Okay. Naresh, Naresh Kannan is asking Hardik Pandya saved us today big time. I just hope Gill playing this format works out eventually. Devashish, I hope you can hear me. And before you get to talking about Shubman Gill, and we'll dive into his performance as well next. But Hardik Pandya, looking back on the game, you were there. Tell us about how the crowd was reacting because, like Naresh said, Hardik Pandya did save India today.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, he proved that he's a clutch player, and he delivered. Means when it required a knock, means obviously he scored that brilliant 50, and then he topped it up with those crucial wickets. So, and he seemed to be enjoying every moment. Means every time he was hitting a boundary, there were cheers all around, and that is what you want. Means and the best part is that you want this Hardik Pandya to be in such form leading up to the World Cup. Yes, I doubt whether he's going to play all the 5 matches in the series, given that if India goes on to win the series 3-0, if they are leading 3-0, I would rather say that rest him, because you want a completely fit Hardik Pandya, and say he is now fully fit, he's enjoying, he the and the quality he brings to this team is immense. So I think yes, he proved that India missed him. India missed Hardik Pandya after that Asia Cup. Yes, he was, but now that he is back, I think the team management needs to handle him very carefully. Means you cannot let Hardik Pandya get injured once again. And we remember, if you look back at that 2023 World Cup, what happened in that match in Pune. He so I think it is very important for Hardik Pandya to remain to his full fitness. Kargi.
Absolutely. Satvik Bagaria here is saying, Shomik, you can take this question. Enough is enough now. It's alarming situation with captain and vice captain not scoring runs. Both need to step up now. It's high time. Lots of concern regarding Sky and Shubman Gill.
See, given the I mean, there is a merit in this question, Gagi. Given that, if you look at the pattern since the Asia Cup, I mean, the top order has been a letdown. The top order has been a letdown. I mean, given the batting depth that India have, India, they are getting over the line. If you go back to the Asia Cup, even the final, the top order was jittery and the top order failed, and then came that Tilak Burma's innings. So someone is standing up to be counted. That is fine, but I hope they get their act together, because there might be someday, some there might be someday when the entire unit will fail. There will not be someone in the middle order to stand up to be counted. And I hope that doesn't happen at the knockouts at the T20 World Cup, because bilateral series are bilateral series. You can afford to lose a game or two. That is fine. But World Cup is your holy grail, and World Cup semi-final, final. I mean, they need to seriously get their act together, because Abhishek Sharma was bailing them out during the early part of the tournament at the Asia Cup. Abhishek Sharma was playing a lone ranger at the top, and now also here in Australia we have seen that, and here also once again top order proved to be a letdown. So yes, whatever you have been doing, if you ask the players at the net at the press conferences, they would come up with the logic that no, I have been hitting the ball very well. Yes, I'm not scoring runs, but I've been batting very well. I'm hitting the ball very well. But at the end of the day, how many runs you have at the scoreboard, that is the thing. And the top order is proving to be a letdown. This is an area India needs to look into.
100%. Bharat, this top order fragility that we've seen in recent times, do you think this is the reason why the management, or let's say even the captain, is adamant on batting till number 8 and on certain days number 9 as well?
That could be one of the reasons, but I think Gautam Gambhir's philosophy is itself. If you look at not just T20 cricket, but also in Test cricket, ODI cricket, if you go back to IPL days as well, with him being as the mentor, he generally likes to have batters right down to 8, 9. So that is his philosophy, and he has said it in many times in press conferences as well. So I'm not very sure it's just because of India's middle order or India's batting lineup uh, not being at its best in the recent past. I think it is just the maxim that it sticks to. But having said that, there would be question marks over Shubman Gill. See, is someone even going back to before the Asia Cup? I noted that he's not exactly a player who can. Yes, he can play at a strike rate of maybe 140, 150, but not exactly a player that you look at as a quintessential modern day T20 opener in the sense that he tries to charge down the track and hit over the infield. But if you look at a quintessential modern day T20 opener, he would most likely clear the infield without really charging down the track. That tells you maybe in terms of power game, it's not exactly there. But having said that, I think Shubman Gill will do better if he's not trying to muscle the ball too much, if he tries to play his own natural game, that is to rely on his timing. But India also have some other problems. I think Surya Kumar Yadav is definitely, I think, coming somewhere to the back end of his career, because he's someone who depends a lot on his reflexes, depends a lot on his hand-eye coordination. Maybe his body is slowing down a bit with all those injuries. He's trying to play the whip. When he's trying to play the pickup shot, he's struggling a bit to the onside. So there are problems in India's batting lineup. But having said that, I think it is Gautam
Bharat,
Gambhir's
your speaker problem is popping up again for some
okay.
reason. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of noise.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, try joining. Devashish, but a lot of concerns regarding Shubman Gill. A lot of people saying that he's been pushed into playing all three formats and might not necessarily be made for that. What are your thoughts at this point? Shomik thinks he needs a little bit more time. What are your thoughts? Where do you see Gill's career, career trajectory going when it comes to T20 eyes?
Gargi, now that you have appointed Shubman Gill as the vice captain, obviously you cannot just back out. Means, and this the remaining 9 matches will be incredibly important, not only for Shubman but also for India's perspective. Means you cannot just let go with a situation that where your top order, where particularly Shubman. I mean, and remember, he is included in the side. Had to be drafted in the side at the expense of someone like a Sanju Samson, who was doing really, really well at the top, along with Abhishek Sharma. So I think he himself will also be under pressure. I would say, I would feel, given that he needs to kickstart, means obviously his T20 format as well. Means obviously if this is one format who has not done that well, means obviously compared to his Test career or a one-day career, I think this is one format where Shubman Gill needs to fire. And now that he is the vice captain, it is his responsibility as well. And obviously I don't see any problem with that shot. At least the intent, because he looked to take on the attack, but unfortunately he got out. But obviously, you need score from Shubman Gill and Surya Kumar Yadav. Means it's now 19 innings that Surya Kumar Yadav has failed ever since he scored that 47 not out in that game against Pakistan. But I think this is something a bit of a concern going ahead in the remaining 4 matches in this series.
Devashish, the biggest problem as far as Shubman Gill is concerned is that his problem is going aerial. That is never his game. Since he has been a kid, his game is about picking the gaps, piercing the gaps, playing along the carpet, which he can do in Test cricket and ODIs. I mean, in T20 cricket, in modern day T20 cricket, you have to go aerial, and that is not his game, and that demand is taking him out of his comfort zone. And that is why I think he needs a bit of a time to get into the group. But given that a World Cup is round the corner, he needs to find that group at the earliest. You cannot say that I can give him 6 months to get into the T20I group. Um, I might sound a bit sort of uh, weird, rather, or whatever. I'm just not getting the word at this moment in time. But I know he is no longer part of the T20 setup. He has hung up his T20I boots. But as far as I'm concerned, he can crack ODIs. ODIs are a tougher thing than T20 cricket, because when you start to open the innings, you still have a couple of slips and a gully. I still think a leaner and fitter Rohit Sharma is India's best T20I opener. I still feel, but that's water under the bridge now. No point talking about Rohit Sharma, because Rohit Sharma, I mean, has called time on his T20I career.
All right. Let's take final couple of questions and then we can close the show. Prosenjit is saying this question is for Bharat, but Bharat's not here. But Debashish, you can take this. In front of the game, Sky in front of the game collapsed. What is the reason? And Tilak's strike rotation is so bad. That's why MI also retired him. Rian is good. Okay, I don't see Rian coming into the setup this early on, but the other concerns here, Debashish Sky collapsing and Tilak strike rotation.
Yeah, obviously we have spoken about Surya Kumar Yadav's lean pack, and it has been a little too longer. Means not much for India's cause, because you want your captain to fire, and the Surya Kumar Yadav, until the T20 World Cup he was in dominating form. Means obviously you expect Surya Kumar Yadav to bail you out whenever the team is in trouble, but that has not been the case, unfortunately. So I think the sooner the later, but it has always been his game, Gargi. If you ask me, Surya Kumar Yadav has always played like this. And so I think India needs to find a solution, and because um, uh, you cannot be 10 for 2 or 30 for 3 inside the power play. So they, um, now with Abhishek Sharma, given the player he bats with, I think that needs some solidity at the top. Shubman Gill could have been the perfect ploy, because as Shomikda mentioned, aerial playing aerial shots is not his cup of tea. So I think he would rather be, be I think he should take singles and give strike more to Abhishek Sharma in the power play, because and once he settles in, then he can take on the bowling. So I think this might be perhaps the way out. If you are sticking with a Shubman Gill, means obviously you cannot rely him to go for aerial shots, rather than give as much of a strike to Abhishek Sharma, who can take those aerial shots, who can improvise, who can score quick runs. Shubman Gill initially in that power play could be the grafter, means obviously, and then once he gets going, once he sets foot, we all know what a batter he has been.
Bharat, before I go to Shomik and end the show, a word on Jasprit Bumrah, first Indian bowler to cross 100 wickets in all three formats, and he's been a revelation for Indian cricket, one of the best ever produced. Your thoughts?
For starters, I just hope that speaker is working. I don't know why it is happening today, because it's been perfect for many years. So anyway, see, Bumrah is someone I don't need to say much. I think he's touched fast bowling nirvana like a year or so ago itself. So he's someone who just knows what to do in a particular situation. He has all the skills. He imparts a lot of reps on the ball, because the kind of reps he imparts, the ball kind of bounces awkwardly, hits the bat hard on impact, he moves the ball late. He can get the ball to stand up and move the ball late. And someone obviously has that hyper extension, so his release is from a little further up. So there's a lot of things going for him, and if you look at his trajectory, what happens with Bumrah is if you look at his trajectory, it's quite low. But because he imparts a lot of reps on the ball, it hits the pitch and hits the bat hard on impact with a little more bounce. So he's someone I think has the control as well. So he has all the skills, and now he has the experience. I think, as I noted, he has touched fast bowling nirvana. There's nothing more to say. Maybe there's a time, maybe a couple of months ago, where it felt as if Bumrah has lost a little bit of nip, but I think he's got that little bit of nip back. Hopefully, for the next couple of years, at least, we will see Bumrah somewhere near his best. Because if Bumrah is somewhere near his best, then it becomes incredibly hard to defeat India, at least in limited overs cricket.
And Shomik, finally, I've been thinking about this. I just wonder what India would have looked like if Hardik Pandya played all three formats. And that's, I think, we all think about that, don't we?
Yes, yes, that's a huge miss. I mean, Hardik Pandya as a test all-rounder, he would have solved a lot of problems. I mean, he was closest to, he would have been closest to Kapil Dev. I mean, Kapil Dev is once in a lifetime cricketer, so I will not compare anybody with Kapil Dev as once in a lifetime cricketer, but he would have been closest to Kapil Dev. I mean, after Kapil Dev retired, we searched for his replacements, knowing that you cannot replace the irreplaceable. But Hardik, given his talent, the way he bowled, but his body couldn't take the rigors of test cricket. It was unfortunate. Um, he's sort of, I tend to say, he has had a glass body, but yes, Gargi, it is one of the it is unfortunate that we didn't get Hardik as a test all rounder. I think if you look at those series in Australia and England, just think about Hardik Pandya bowling and not Nitish Kumar Reddy, for example, and just uh, that would have been the difference basically.
Absolutely. I think it's a wish list that all Indian cricket fans would have, and even us journalists would have loved to see someone like a Hardik Pandya stepping back into all three formats. But that's a dream for another
No,
day, not this
no, that's
lifetime.
not no, that's not happening, Gargi, because
Not,
his body
yeah,
cannot stand the rigors of 5 day cricket. That is the problem. He cannot do
100.
it. Like Shreya Iyer has given up on red ball cricket. His back cannot take this. His back
No.
cannot take the rigors of 5 days cricket. Because what happens after batting, he is developing spasms and he cannot stay on the field. The same with Hardik, he cannot stay on the field for 5 days. So Hardik Pandya will not come back to Test cricket, and it's a big loss for Indian cricket.
On that note, we'll take your leave. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Shomik, Devashish, and Bharat. We'll catch you tomorrow from Chandigarh. I'll be building up to the second T20I, so don't forget to join us for everything. And keep liking, sharing, and subscribing.